I'm going to tell you a story about franchises. For those of you who don't know what a franchise is just a type of business model where somebody has an idea and then they get other people to open their franchises and pay them a royalty. It's a pretty successful business model. It's been around for a very, very, very long time. And I'm going to lay this story out here so that we're clear. And I'm going to abridge it a little bit, so you're just going to read between the lines. But a couple of folks bought into this franchise, and they didn't just buy one franchise, they bought 5. And so they wrote a check, a fairly hefty check, a big check, to buy into these 5 franchises. Now, I want to keep you up to speed on how modern franchising is working with restaurants. They're all going into like strip malls and things of that nature. And these strip malls are owned by the usual suspects. They're all owned by, you know, these big real estate conglomerates that are, of course, owned by BlackRock and Vanguard, State Street. I mean, it's all the same people. So these restaurants are going in there. So you don't own the land on which you're putting your business. You don't own usually anything in the business, and you don't own the name or the recipes or anything else. You don't own any of this stuff. You're a glorified owner, kind of. And somewhere buried in that contract, if the relationship becomes unprofitable to them, they will find a way to wrestle that franchise away from you and give it to somebody else. Or, you know, or raise your rents. Because remember, the companies that usually own the franchise companies, private equity firms, they also own the real estate companies, right? I mean, like, this is how this game is played. And so had they come to me, a man who has, I don't know, 20,000 hours of experience, actually more than that. I'm upwards around 35, 40,000 hours now. But if you come to me, I would have charged you $100,000 for consulting, and it would have been well worth it. And I would have said, if you're set on opening one of these little restaurants, that's fine. You can do that. First of all, don't allocate a huge amount of your portfolio, but if you want to do something like this, go find a piece of dirt and buy it. And then build your building, own your dirt, own your building, and put it into a separate LLC altogether. Make it basically bulletproof, that it cannot be touched. It's removed from you. Pay yourself the rent. That's first. Second, own all the equipment in a different company, and put a lien on all the equipment as well. Okay, that way the equipment is untouchable as well. Then what you do is you go to that franchise, for example. If you want to have that franchise say, okay, yeah, you can franchise, and then you at least own the land, the building, and all the equipment inside of it. The customers start going in there because the customers see the name, the brand name, right? And there's now a symbiotic relationship that exists here. Unlike the control relationship of private equity, you now have a symbiotic relationship. They have to actually work with you, because at any point, if they say, well, we don't like you, we're just going to take your franchise away. Okay, no problem at all. Bye. Take your sign down, take all your crap, get it out of here. You still, and after about 5 years or so, you can pretty much reverse engineer all those recipes. It doesn't even take that long, actually. I reverse engineered most recipes very quickly. Again, I have a little bit of training in that, but I'm just saying you can reverse engineer a lot, and on top of that, you can make it a lot fresher. You can use a lot better ingredients as well too. So I'm not trying to give you a restaurant seminar. I'm just telling you, this is the truth. You can use better ingredients. So if you opened a location, let's call it, XYZ location, whatever, I don't know, it's the franchise, and then they flip you any shit, they start giving you a bunch of static, then you can say, okay, that's it. Take your crap off my building. Goodbye. And now they can sue and everything else, but again, you have to structure your life to where you're just lawsuit proof. I mean, and that just takes owning nothing on paper. Remember, own nothing on paper. You still own a lot of stuff, but you just own it on fucking paper, because that's the world we live in right now. Sadly, I would like to see that change, but right now we live in a world of litigious assholes. So, and a bunch of greedy, boomers. I mean, like, that's just the reality. So anyway, then what you do is you put up your own name, because you own your building. You put up your own name, you close down for maybe a week or so, but people are creatures of habit. They're going to go right back there. The menu is roughly the same, the staff is the same, and you have, you know what I mean? The ownership is the same, right? In other words, you do to the franchises and the private equity what they were going to do to you. They were going to have you build their business model for them and then fuck you out of it. as soon as you gave them any static about like, hey dude, hold on, I'm not making any money here, or I'm making money, but you keep raising my fees, and you keep raising the price on this, and then you keep raising the price on that, and I have no control over the sourcing of the eggs or the whatever it is, the food. So therefore you control all of my pricing. I have to buy everything from your commissaries, right? Okay, so when they start to fuck with you, you can just say, okay, that's it. Just take your shit and get the fuck out of here and stuff, and put up your own name, and then you have your own standalone business. That, my friends, is exactly how it was done for a long time. I'm thinking of one off the top of my head right now. Think of one restaurant. It's still there to this day. The owner owns the dirt. He owns the building. He owns everything in it, and owns a bunch of the property around it, actually, and works there daily. So it's not one of these things like you fucking guys with your, I just want to write a check and sit back and let the money roll in. Yeah, you fucking weirdos, dude. Come on, stop. The passive income bullshit. Dude, stop with that is a sales pitch. Okay? That passive income bullshit, that is your basic Jordan Belfort bullshit sales pitch. And I'm not even picking on Belfort. I mean, we'd probably be friends. I'm just pointing out, like, that is bullshit. Passive income is not a fucking thing. Right? I mean, you're going to have to do something, even if it's like, oh, well, but what about royalties? Like, yeah, you still have to stay relevant for people to remember who the fuck you are. Okay? That's why Ye has that new ridiculous song. It's like, it's just to stay relevant. That's all it is. I mean, he's by the way, it's fucking hilarious because he's playing everybody on this. Like, everybody's getting fucking played on this. So anyway, I'm just saying, franchise wise, in most cases, they're not a good idea. In most cases, not some, most cases, they're a terrible idea. But if you're going to do a franchise, and if you, assuming you have the money to do this stuff, because most people don't have the money to do this. But if you're, like in this particular case, this story, of course, I'm talking about with this particular couple, they had that kind of cash. And I covered this a long time ago in one of the original videos, like way back in the day, the original 19 sessions. I covered this. So like, if you had $4 million to open a restaurant, why would you open a restaurant, right? I mean, unless it's your passion, you wouldn't do it. Because the profit margins, it's going to take you 20 years to make that money back. With the cost of capital, maybe even 30 years to make that money back. But if you did it and you owned the land and everything else, you could make the argument that you're building equity. It's not really equity. It's just the dollar being devalued, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, there you go. That's the franchise talk.